Hello, everyone. I want to talk briefly. I have some scripted videos coming up, but right now I just want to rant about, briefly, I guess it's kind of related to the whole Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn gamergate fiasco. Not directly related, and I'll get to the point in a second. But I want to talk to you first about boys growing up that, play in a playground when they're, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, right? I remember when I was 8 years old. I still vividly remember this. There was a playground close by, and our parents would let us go play in this playground with our fellow peers, other 8, 9, 10 years old kids or whatever, and so every day we'd go and play basketball, or we'd play football, or go on an adventure, do things that kids do. I distinctly remember that it was almost a rite of passage, right, for one of us to get into our first shoving match, right? To learn the cause and effect of life, specifically in terms of keeping your hands to yourself. And I think this is a lesson that little boys learn. This is why it's healthy to let little boys play and compete, and even get into little scraps and shoving matches occasionally, because they learn a life lesson, a valuable life lesson, way before they develop into men, where they can do much more damage, physically speaking, in terms of violence, right? When you're 8 years old, or whatever age, right, young age, when you were first interacting with other children and playing and adventuring and so on and so forth, most kids inevitably end up, for whatever reason, I don't know, hitting somebody that they weren't, that they shouldn't have hit, right? In the process of playing on the playground, young boys discover that if you hit somebody, if you don't keep your hands to yourself, you end up getting into your first fight, and this is way before you can do the type of damage that a fully grown man can do. And so that's positive and healthy. It's healthy for little boys to discover, as long as it doesn't get out of hand, that putting your hands on people without their permission or without their consent results in violence, right? In a shoving match, your first fight or whatever. And of course, at such an early age, to view that kind of fight or flight mechanism in a safe, controlled manner, because these kids aren't going to kill each other. They're not going to give each other a concussion. They're just going to shove each other around, and your fellow peers are going to break it up. And in a week, they're basically back to normal, and they squash it and whatever. So I think boys understand at a very early age what happens when you cross the line, and what the potential consequences are for crossing the line. And as they age, they discover that, if I'm going to get into a fight, it better be for a good damn reason, because there's very real consequences that can come out of unnecessarily starting fights with people. And this relates to a wider theme of how men and boys interact with the world, where men and boys are generally shaped by experiences that confer adulthood, right? Men and boys go through these tribulations and trials in early age, and in the teenage years, and in young adulthood, that shape them and mold them into generally responsible adults. This is not the case with women, and this is why women still, to this day, even with these claims of equality and claims of doing whatever it is that men can do, feel that they are entitled, for example, to be able to put their hands on a man and not get hit back. And so we have this overall climate of both men and women not educating women, especially in their formative years, and even later on into adulthood, when they're experiencing, many women experience this stifled, arrested development, where nobody has ever told them no, or nobody has ever told them the truth about themselves. Women are much, much less likely to go through experiences that demonstrate to them how stupid they're being when they're being stupid. And this is the problem, and this is the source of Gamergate and the Anita Sarkeesians and the Zoe Quinns of the world. Nobody ever tells these women to shut the fuck up because they're sounding stupid. Whereas if it were a man, you're going to get called out on stupid statements that you make. With that said, I want to, and this is going to be in the description box, I want to link a video, a CNN video, in regards to the Yes Means Yes bill that I believe was just recently passed in California. This is an affirmative consent bill, a feminist-inspired affirmative consent bill, where you essentially have to obtain consent and continue to obtain consent throughout the sexual activity that you're engaging in. And it's designed to, of course, according to feminists, stop rape, right? And the woman that's reporting, this video wasn't about that, but the woman that's reporting on this affirmative consent bill, her name is Rachel Crane, I believe. Well, it's in the description box, just in case I didn't pronounce her name correctly. The woman that is reporting on this is such a mediocre reporter. I mean, she's horrendously bad. And you have to watch the video to kind of grasp just how bad of a reporter she is, right? And her reporting is, I don't know if I would even call it reporting. I'd call it a sorry excuse for reporting, but her reporting is so bad. Her bobbing her head and weaving her head with this confrontational attitude as though she's arguing with the viewer. It's very unprofessional. It's not appropriate. And she does not exude the qualities of what I would call a professional reporter. Now, I don't really trust, mainstream media outlets. I don't trust CNN. I don't trust Fox News or MSNBC. But at the very least, they have reporters that know how to convey their reports with body language and mannerisms that doesn't indicate that nobody has ever critiqued their style of reporting. Wolf Blitzer, for example, conveys the report that he's reporting with an air of professionalism, right? Whether or not you agree with his reporting or not, he still has this air of professionalism. He still has this air of wanting to deliver his report in a quality fashion. And this woman, unfortunately, nobody has ever told her that. Nobody has ever critiqued her reporting style. And I suspect, and this is what I'm getting to here eventually, I suspect that somebody's just boning this chick because she's, I guess, attractive or whatever. I don't find her attractive, but I can see how people, somebody somewhere in the CNN interviewing and hiring process said, look, I want to bone this chick, so I'm gonna hire her. That's what I speculate. That's my theory on what's going on with this, because again, her reporting is so horrendously bad that somebody somewhere, she must have fucked somebody somewhere to get that position. And this is the same thing with charlatans like Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn in particular, who has now a documented history of essentially fucking her way to the top of gaming journalism. This is what we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with corruption of Zoe Quinn. We're not even dealing with corruption of feminist gaming journalists or whatever. What we're essentially dealing with is the fact that both men and women refuse to tell women how stupid they sound when they do in fact sound stupid. And this woman absolutely does, this Rachel Crane character. And Anita Sarkeesian sounds stupid, right? And in Anita Sarkeesian's case, we're willing to pony up, $130,000 for these mediocre videos, when there's tons of other gaming commentators or people who do YouTube videos on gaming commentary that are men that would never get that sum. And we see this even down to our own community here in the manosphere, where a woman can, start up a YouTube channel, essentially repeat things that people like myself or Stardust or even prominent MRAs or whatever, have really worked out a long time ago and said a long time ago. And she can just explode in subscriptions, right? Overnight sometimes. And the entire manosphere caters to these women. It's about the fact that we treat women like children. It's about the fact that women, even in early age, do not endure or go through trials and rituals or tribulations or formative experiences that allow them to check or bounce off their activity or their behavior off of societal consensus and determine, do I sound stupid or not? Do I sound like an idiot right now? Nobody ever tells women this. That's the problem. That's why things like Gamergate exists. It's not because of feminists, although they have a huge part in it. They're essentially the medium by which this happens. But no, this is about nobody having the balls to tell women when they sound stupid. Anyway, again, that video is in the description box. Check it out and let me know what you think. And of course, scripted content coming very soon. Thanks for listening.